Hello and welcome to today's video where we will be discussing non-communicable diseases and their burden on economies. Non-communicable diseases are diseases that cannot be transmitted from person to person and are not caused by infectious agents such as bacteria or viruses. Unlike communicable diseases, which are typically spread through contact with an infected individual or their bodily fluids, NCDs are caused by a variety of factors such as genetics, lifestyle choices, and environmental exposures. NCDs include a range of conditions such as cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes, and chronic respiratory disease, among others. These diseases are the leading cause of death worldwide, responsible for 71% of deaths globally. They are also the leading cause of disability, accounting for more than half of all years lived with disability. The risk factors for NCDs are numerous and often interrelated. They can include behaviors such as smoking, unhealthy diets, physical inactivity, and harmful alcohol use, as well as underlying conditions such as high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and obesity. Environmental factors such as air pollution and exposure to toxins and chemicals can also increase the risk of developing NCDs. While NCDs can affect anyone, they often disproportionately affect individuals who are already marginalized, including those living in poverty, older adults, and people with disabilities. This can be due to factors such as limited access to healthcare, lack of education about healthy behaviors, and limited resources for prevention and treatment. Preventing NCDs requires a comprehensive approach that addresses both individual-level behaviors and systemic factors that contribute to the development of these diseases. This can include interventions such as promoting healthy behaviors, improving access to healthcare, and implementing policies that promote healthy environments. But the impact of NCDs is not limited to health alone. They also have a significant economic burden on countries, both in terms of healthcare costs and lost productivity. The economic burden of NCDs is staggering. NCDs have a profound impact on the global economy, with an estimated cost of over $47 trillion by 2030. This cost is due to both direct healthcare costs and indirect costs, such as lost productivity and premature death. Direct healthcare costs include the expenses associated with medical treatments, hospitalizations, and medications for NCDs. These costs are often high and can be a significant burden on individuals and families, particularly in low- and middle-income countries where access to affordable healthcare is limited. Indirect costs, on the other hand, are related to the impact of NCDs on productivity and economic growth. When individuals are living with NCDs, they may not be able to work or may have to take time off work for medical appointments and treatments. This can lead to lost productivity for businesses and decreased economic growth for countries. The economic burden of NCDs is also compounded by the fact that they disproportionately affect people who are already marginalized, including those living in poverty, older adults, and people with disabilities. This can exacerbate existing inequalities and create new ones. Furthermore, the burden of NCDs is not limited to the healthcare sector alone. It also affects other sectors, such as agriculture, transportation, and education. For example, NCDs can impact agriculture by reducing the availability of labor, which can lead to decreased crop yields and food shortages. In the transportation sector, NCDs can increase the cost of transportation as individuals with NCDs may require special accommodations, such as wheelchair accessibility. In the education sector, NCDs can lead to increased absenteeism, which can affect academic performance and hinder economic growth. Addressing the burden of NCDs will require a multi-sectoral approach that includes investment in healthcare systems, prevention strategies, and policies that address social determinants of health. This includes increasing access to affordable healthcare, promoting healthy behaviors such as physical activity and healthy eating, and addressing social and economic determinants of health such as poverty, education, and employment. In many low- and middle-income countries, healthcare systems are not equipped to deal with the burden of NCDs. This means that people living with these conditions often do not receive the care they need, which can lead to poor health outcomes and increased healthcare costs in the long run. NCDs also have a significant impact on productivity. Non-communicable diseases not only have a major impact on individual health and well-being, but they also have a significant impact on productivity, both at the individual and societal levels. At the individual level, NCDs can lead to reduced productivity due to chronic symptoms, decreased physical and cognitive function, and increased healthcare utilization. For example, someone living with diabetes may have to take time off work to manage their blood sugar levels or attend medical appointments, while someone with chronic pain may struggle to focus and perform tasks effectively. At the societal level, NCDs can have a significant impact on economic productivity and growth. NCDs can lead to decreased labor force participation, increased absenteeism, and decreased productivity while at work. For example, an employee with chronic back pain may take more sick days or be less productive while at work, leading to decreased productivity for their employer. The impact of NCDs on productivity is not limited to the workplace. It can also affect other aspects of daily life, such as household tasks and caregiving responsibilities. For example, someone living with a chronic condition may have difficulty performing household tasks or caring for children or elderly family members, which can lead to increased caregiving burden for others and decreased overall productivity for the household. Furthermore, the impact of NCDs on productivity is not limited to the individual or household level. It can also have a broader impact on society and the economy as a whole. NCDs can lead to increased healthcare costs, which can strain healthcare systems and lead to decreased funding for other important areas, such as education and infrastructure. They can also lead to decreased economic growth due to decreased labor force participation and increased healthcare costs. In order to address the impact of NCDs on productivity, it is important to focus on prevention and management strategies. This includes investing in healthcare systems and prevention programs that can help to identify and manage NCDs before they become chronic or lead to complications. It also includes policies and programs that support employees with chronic conditions, such as flexible work arrangements and workplace accommodations. Furthermore, the burden of NCDs is not evenly distributed. NCDs, or non-communicable diseases, are a significant public health issue that affects millions of people worldwide. The burden of NCDs is not evenly distributed, and it disproportionately affects certain populations, including those who are already marginalized. Firstly, NCDs affect people living in poverty at a much higher rate than those who are better off financially. Poverty is a major social determinant of health, and it is closely linked to NCDs. People living in poverty often lack access to healthy foods and safe places to exercise, which increases their risk of developing NCDs such as diabetes and heart disease. Additionally, poverty is often associated with other risk factors for NCDs, including smoking and exposure to environmental pollutants. Secondly, older adults are more likely to develop NCDs than younger people. As people age, their risk of developing NCDs such as arthritis, Alzheimer's disease, and osteoporosis increases. Older adults may also have more difficulty managing their NCDs due to other health conditions or mobility issues. Thirdly, people with disabilities are also at higher risk for NCDs. Disability is associated with a higher prevalence of many NCDs, including cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and obesity. People with disabilities may face additional barriers to accessing healthcare, which can exacerbate their NCDs and lead to poorer health outcomes. Lastly, NCDs disproportionately affect certain ethnic and racial groups. For example, African Americans have higher rates of hypertension and diabetes than white Americans. Similarly, indigenous populations have higher rates of NCDs than non-indigenous populations in many countries. The unequal distribution of the burden of NCDs has significant social and economic consequences. People who are already marginalized may face additional financial strain due to the costs of managing their NCDs. They may also have to take time off work or leave the workforce entirely, which can lead to reduced income and economic instability. Furthermore, the unequal distribution of NCDs perpetuates existing health inequalities and creates new ones. It highlights the importance of addressing social determinants of health, including poverty, race, and disability, to ensure that everyone has access to the resources they need to prevent and manage NCDs. In conclusion, NCDs are a major public health issue that have a significant economic burden on countries, particularly low and middle-income countries. Addressing the burden of NCDs will require a multi-sectoral approach, including investment in healthcare systems, prevention strategies, and policies that address social determinants of health. Thank you for watching today's video, and we hope that it has helped to raise awareness of the importance of addressing the burden of NCDs. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more informative content.